I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. And well, we have a episode 5 spoiler review for season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. This episode, I believe, is titled Fever. And in this episode, at least after the intro, we pick back up where we left off in the last one. Not with Maki, just seeing what Yuji and Megami are doing at the moment, and they're basically going to recruit Hikari. Now, Hikari is running this fight club, like literal fight club, like to the point where one of the rules is they don't talk about Fight Club. So, you see a lot of the movie references that's going on here. And I'm not gonna lie, I am asking myself, is this more imitation than it is, how do you say it, inspiration? Is it more imitation than it is inspiration from the writers? At least Gege, I believe that's his name. But at the same time, I dig it a bit. I like the references, so I'm not mad at it at all. But before we get to that, we have a basically 7-minute mini episode of things that happened after the Shibuya incident. Basically, the higher ups frame the principal Yaga for being the one that caused the chaos in Shibuya. And while he didn't do it like at all, he had nothing to do with it, they really are just using this moment to try and get information out of him about how he's able to create cursed spirit users like Panda and other animals that get souls in them. Like, how do you do that? Apparently the higher ups don't know how to do that. This guy Yaga knows how to do that, and they've always wanted him to give him this information, but he never did. He never told him. He always kept it to himself because he felt like it was a power that people would abuse, understandably. So they're after this guy. They're going to find him, and then they eventually catch up to him in a fire ass scene. I'm not gonna lie. Buddy pulls up with a guitar. He starts playing the guitar before he murks him. Yaga does end up dying, and in Yaga, he basically tells them everything they want to know, how he creates the cursed spirit users like Panda. And in telling them that, he's like, why do you tell me this now on your deathbed? Like, we could have kept you alive. So like, what are you doing? Like, we just wanted to know what's going on. And Yaga goes, well, it was a curse. Now I'm passing that curse from me to you. And then he passes away. Very cool scene, I'm not gonna lie. Very dope intro. Panda runs in, starts crying. Like, this is my father, and I'm not here to fight, but Pandas feel too. Deep moment. And then the intro kicks in, and then we get into the Fight Club stuff, where Panda does eventually pop back up. We see, I guess he's there to recruit Hikari as well. And so him and Yuji, they have to fight each other in the beginning of the tournament because Hikari's basically Vince McMahon. He likes the fight to play out for real for the first time, and then when he sees he has a star on his hands, he starts scripting it all. Basically Vince McMahon running the WWE. That's what Hikari's doing with this Fight Club. And in this Fight Club, when they're fighting, they can't use their curse technique because the spectators are non-sorcerers, so they won't even be able to see it at the end of the day. So they're just like, yeah, don't even do none of that. Just straight up fight, and winner wins. And Vince McMahon sees his John Cena, and he takes him and shoots him to the moon. Hey man, not mad at it. It was fun. It was like I said, a mix of like kind of everything you know about the world. And you can kind of tell what the writer is doing with this. So I'm not mad at it. But he earns Hikari's eye because they said it's hard to get up to him because he basically got like a force field surrounding his door. One of his girlfriends is a special grade curse user. And Yuji ends up finding a way upstairs to get to him because he looked good beating up Panda. Now, he doesn't want nobody from Jujutsu High basically come to spy on what he got going on and what he's doing, because they're going to mess up the money, going to mess up the business. And he loves this. This is his passion. He loves passion. He has a passion for gambling, and gambling is life. And he goes on to this whole spiel as he's talking to Yuji. And as he's talking to him, he comes to find out that he is indeed from Jujutsu High. And so he ends up throwing his glass at him. They end up fighting, and that's when the episode ends. And I guess the next episode is us continuing that. I really enjoyed this episode, not gonna lie. While the pacing for honestly both parts of the story that they were trying to tell, the one for the intro and the one, with the Fight Club and Yuji and basically our main plot, back to that at least, it was a bit slow paced, even for 20 minutes. I felt like, why is this moving like a lull? Like, there's a lot of talking going on. There's a lot of explaining happening. There's a lot of exposition dump going on. Like, I get this is an anime, but at the end of the day, you would think even with the anime, it's better off to show and not tell. It's a lot of telling. That was one of my main problems with episode 3. It was a lot of information just thrown at you. So even in this one, they're kind of still finding a way to do those exposition dumps, but it's not paced well at all. It doesn't happen in a moment where it's needed. Like, the end scene made sense for a whole monologue and explain, because it is about the character. It builds the character and what we need to know about Hikari and whatnot. So that made sense to have all that there at the end. But over explaining what's going on and what's happening, I feel like you think I'm a child. And while I guess children do watch this, even though they shouldn't be. This is very adult anime. But I guess they think we're kids, so they got to tell us over and over again what's going on. But it's a lot. It's not even like the same thing over and over again. It's different things. Like, we got to tell you about this guy and tell you what he's about 3 times, and you got to tell you about this guy, like this situation. It's a lot of exposition dump. And I'm a show don't tell guy. You don't have to. I called it the first time. I promise you. I'm with you. We here. We locked in. You ain't got to keep exposition up with me. That was my only real problem with the episode, the pacing. Other than that, fight scene was really cool. Still having a fun time following Yuji and Megami was really dope, and learning about Hikari, and like I said, that last scene was really awesome. Not gonna lie, but you could tell this wasn't episode 4. That was like peak. That was a peak, and it's just like, when you peak, you better peak at the end, not in the middle, because now it's just like, oh man, this episode wasn't as great and amazing as that last one, which it's gonna be hard for any episode to top that. But hey, either way, it's still building towards where we're going. Not mad at it, still enjoying it, still locked in for the ride. So we shall see how this goes. Overall, I would have to give episode 5 3 out of 5 salves from me. Still a fire, still enjoyed it, wasn't mid. A lot of exposition dump, and I'm ready for this to start moving. The pacing is, especially, I don't think this is a 20 episode season. I could be wrong. I think it's about 15, 14, and we're in episode 5. Like, can the culling game start? Can we get to it? No, we're gonna have to wait on that. Probably part 2 is when it all starts. So you did all that explaining to me just to not see what I'm about, the rules of whatever is going on until 2 years from now. Okay. I would hate for this season to feel like setup and then have to wait another 3 years to watch it again. You know what I mean? If they're going to make this season be set up, part 2 needs to be right around the corner, in my opinion. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I'm Savvy Mike, and this Savvy Reviews. Peace.